Unpadded Podcast, as we make our triumphant return, so does another long-awaited WWE superstar. That's right. I'm talking about the one, the only, R-Truth. Here we go.
Yo, monkeys, it's me. It's DDP. That's right, Diamond Dallas Page, the king of bada bing, the master of the diamond cutter, the three-time world champion, WWE Hall of Famer, and founder and CEO of DDP Yoga. And baby, it is time. It is time for the Towers of Powers, the men of the hour. I'm talking about my main men, the men with the plan. I'm talking about Whisky Pro and the Brews, baby. And we're bringing you the best in beerskis and whiskeys from the greatest city in the world, Dallas, Texas, home of the Dallas Cowboys. Now, can you dig that, baby? These guys are going to make you boys feel the bang. And that's not a bad thing. That's a good thing.
I almost hit the end stream button. That would have just been awesome. That's it. That's it. We're done. We're done for the night.
No mas.
What is up, man? How you been? How you doing? What is new in your world?
Nothing new, really. I'm out from a fucking dining room area that had baby Godzilla running around all over the ceiling, you know, vibrating damn kitchen cabinets and shit like that. So, as you can see behind me, I still have a lot of unpacking to do, but what about you, man?
Oh, you know, living the dream, man. I'm actually enjoying the last ever, because it's no more, no mas. The last ever, your least favorite beer. I don't know how well that's not going to go into the shot, but it's your least favorite beer. It's a Pilsner from our buddies over at Strikeout Beer and Brutal Beerworks. Nice. Also, I know this is going to be a fun show. We try to keep things light here, but I want to take a quick moment. This past Saturday night was the final night for Brutal Beerworks out of North Richland Hills, Texas. And, you know, I was lucky enough to get to go to that place a handful of times. Obviously, go hang out with Rapid Dave, Alan from Strikeout Beer. Shout out to those guys for introducing me to it. When I first got into the craft beer scene, that was the first place I went, followed by False Idol, which is like a block over. But I went there and I had a lot of fun. I got to meet the owners. I'm sorry, man, your name is not coming to me at the moment. But it's sad to see them go. But you know, you can say it's the economy, you can say it's this, you can say it's that. It doesn't matter. The fact of it is, a lot of places are getting shut down now because of leases or can't afford to keep open because of workers. Whatever the case is, doesn't matter. I was sad to hear them shut down, and unfortunately, I had to get a chance to go out there. But yeah, man, cheers to them. This is literally your least favorite beer I will ever drink, ever, for the rest of my days. So it's bittersweet. But I wanted to take a moment, at least, you know, show a little bit of a love toward Brutal Beerworks and Strikeout Beer, because after all, they're the ones that kind of popped my cherry with the craft beer scene, so to speak. So
now Brutal's not really going away. From my understanding, they weren't renewing their lease. So there is a potential of them setting up shop somewhere else, right?
There is potential for that, yes.
Okay. So they're not gone like some other places were just like, peace out, people were shutting down completely. They're just looking for another place.
Right. And the way people were making it sound and seem, and from what I saw on Facebook and their Instagram posts, it seems like they're going away for good. But I could be totally wrong on that. And if I am, please, nothing I think I say on the show is set in stone. They may be gone for a year. They could be gone for 6 months and come back. I don't know. But just from the vibe that I got, it seemed like they were going away for good. Again, I could be totally wrong on that. So, and I hope I'm wrong. I really do, because I enjoyed Brutal. I had a lot of fun, and they made some really good beers. Fun fact, they made my first IPA I ever liked. I don't remember the name of it, but I do remember they had an IPA. It was because I had a few IPAs before that, and it was just stuff, that I got at Kroger. It was some main beer brand, and I hated them. And they were the first IPA I had. I was like, holy crap, that's kind of good.
I saw recently too, Shannon Brewery, I think, shut down too.
Oh, wow.
Like from my understanding now, obviously this is probably, not too in depth, but from my understanding, the owners sold, I guess, shares to like a private equity group,
Mm-hmm.
and they're doing something else with it. So I want to say they're being renamed something else. But yeah, they're permanently closed. Shannon is no mas.
Wow.
But from my understanding, it's going to be another brewery in the same location, similar to what in downtown Louisville, I want to say it was like Old Town Louisville or Old Town something brewery, and it used to be like the Viper or some shit like that. You know what I'm talking about?
I don't, unfortunately. I don't know
They just
Louisville
kind of
very
changed
well.
their names.
Okay. But what are you drinking on, man? What you got going on?
Well, right now I'm keeping it kind of simple. It's Christmas for me.
Oh, dude.
So I went to Total Wine, and I was determined to try and find Hershey Porter. And, my wife, I was looking all over the aisles, and my wife ended up being like, hey, you missed it. And my eyes got so big because I saw several 6-packs right there on the shelf. So I managed to grab myself one. What about you?
Well, of course, like I said, I'm drinking the. Sorry if y'all can hear my phone in the background. I'm trying to make an Instagram post and a Twitter post. I'm drinking your least favorite beer from your least favorite podcast, Strikeout Beer and Beerworks, and then I'm going to try this other one you gave me, the Horny Toad Blonde from Coop Ale Works. Am I saying that right?
It's either Co-op or Coop. I think, yeah.
Coop or Co-op Ale Works. I'm sorry, I'm horrible at reading. If you don't know this, welcome to the show. Yeah, it's a blonde. It's 12 ounces. IBU's 25. Alcohol by volume is 5.3. It says SMR is a 4. I don't know what that is.
It says what?
SMR. It's a 4.
SRM beer color, standard research method number scale for beer color. So the lighter the number, or the lower the number, the lighter the beer. The higher the number, like stouts, porters, those would be like 9s, things like that.
Gotcha.
Let's see. Coop or Co-op, whatever. It is about 2.5 hours away from us, bro.
Oh, wow.
A straight shot right up 35, man.
Nice. All right.
Yeah, they're in downtown Oklahoma City.
Nice.
So,
yeah, man. So a lot to get into tonight. I know we kind of talked beer a little bit. We had it never seems to fail. It seems like we'll have a really fun, amazing show, and then all hell breaks loose for like a week or two. I know you've been busy doing your thing, moving and whatnot, and congratulations, by the way. I won't throw too much out.
Thank you.
I won't throw too much information out there, but nice, cozy new place.
Hell yeah.
But
finally have heat.
there you go.
Oh my gosh.
And not much has been going on over here. Just living the dream and living the life and trying to stay healthy. Good luck with that. And that's it. But we got to talk about a lot of returns. A lot of returns happened at Survivor Series. I know we're on this hangover from like 10 days ago. Oh my gosh, get over it. But possibly the biggest return in WWE history and one of the most anticipated returns is R-Truth. We got to talk about it, right? We have to.
Oh yeah.
And in all seriousness, in Survivor Series there was a lot of big returns. R-Truth was a pleasant surprise. I, for one, am a huge R-Truth fan. I have been for the longest time. He's great comedy relief. He's actually a hell of an athlete in all seriousness. He's not a bad wrestler either. But I think he has more fun just being himself and being goofy and having fun with it. He's the only person ever to make Brock Lesnar break character on camera. That says something. He's made Hulk Hogan, The Undertaker, Brock Lesnar, and John Cena all break character on a live shooting. Who else can say they've done that in this time?
That's true.
You know, and it's crazy. Now everybody's going to say, "Oh, okay, well, name 3 of his biggest matches." Okay, fine, you have me there. I can't really name. I know he's had some classics with The Miz. I know he's had some classics with Dolph Ziggler. He's had a classic or 2. I want to say Kofi Kingston, but I could be wrong on that. Don't hold me to it. But he's had some good matches. Now, were they quality WrestleMania moment matches? No. Were they something that really stole the show? No, but they were still good, solid matches. And let's face it, I mean, R-Truth is what he is. At this point, he's a mid-carder. He's a jobber, if you want to call him that. I don't like that term, but if that's what you want to call him, fine. But he's still fun to watch, and the comedy behind it. And he writes a lot of his own stuff, and he comes up with most of that on the fly. Yeah. So a lot of that's not even, rehearsed.
I remember watching an interview with him like years ago, before he started doing this derpy kind of R-Truth,
Right.
Dude's freaking intelligent.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it was weird watching the interview and then like seeing how he is now. It's like night and day. It's like watching, say, like you're talking to Mike Myers 1 minute, and then the next minute he switches into Austin Power just out of the blue.
Right?
You know what I mean?
It's crazy. And what I find so weird and so funny, and it's all over the place here. Y'all forgive me. Tonight is going to be a rough show because my mind is bouncing because I have about 50 different things I want to talk about, and I'm trying to figure out how to cram it all into one show. But it was fun to see him. I want to see him do some in-ring stuff. I really miss watching R-Truth wrestle, and I'm not. While the fun, goofy kind of wrestling is fun to watch, like with Otis or Santino Marella or even R-Truth, I really want to see him compete.
Yeah,
that's what I want to see. Do I want to see him, be a push for the Intercontinental Champion or something like? Not really, but if it happened, I wouldn't be against it. But I want to see R-Truth back in the ring fighting somebody, and I don't care the reason, I don't care the story. I just want to see him back in the ring. And maybe he's only doing storylines. Maybe he's not doing wrestling anymore. I don't know. There's really, WWE hasn't led us to believe one thing or the other. Maybe R-Truth's like, you know what? I'm back. I want to hang with the boys and tell some jokes and make the fans laugh. And I'm okay with it, but I'd still like to see him compete at least once or twice.
Yeah. I mean, that'd be nice. I like watching him wrestle. He had some really good stuff against Randy Orton too, I believe.
Yeah. Speaking of Randy Orton, we'll segue into that, man. So it finally happened.
Oh, I am pissed.
We're gonna get to that. But so leading up to the Randy Orton thing, you heard for months, or at least I did, Yahoo Sports and all these other different places, Randy Orton spotted at the training facility for just about every pay-per-view, right? Yeah. We thought this is the one he's going to come back at. This is the one he's going to come back at. If you look back, and historically speaking, I mean, obviously Survivor Series, The Undertaker had his big debut. Survivor Series I think it's a great way to either make your debut or to make a return, because you've got the Royal Rumble coming up. You've got WrestleMania's right around the corner. So it's a great spot to return. Now, I'm going to say something that's going to piss some people off. I'm not upset that Randy Orton's back. I'm excited.
Oh, hell yeah.
And I'm also extremely happy he went to SmackDown. It's no secret. I have not liked SmackDown because I just feel that they are they're not AEW low, but I just feel like they're a lot lower than than Raw.
Dude, I couldn't even get into SmackDown when Undertaker was there. Come on now, man. Randy Orton is like the top of the top for me. You should have seen me because me and you are over here texting during Survivor Series.
Right.
And I keep telling my wife, I'm like, oh, come on. He's got to come out. And then I'm like, well, some of the rumors are maybe he doesn't come out. Maybe CM Punk comes and takes his place. And then at the end of the match, Randy Orton comes out and turns on everybody, joins Judgment Day. And then, the whole Money in the Bank cash-in attempt comes in. The second Randy Orton's theme hits, man, I'm like a fucking schoolboy, man. I'm grinning ear to ear. I'm like, yeah, let's go,
It really was fun, and
it was awesome.
That's something else I want to kind of touch on for just a quick second is we don't have a lot of those moments in wrestling anymore. We have those surprise returns, right? We don't have that. I mean, social media, call it what you will, it's ruined a lot of things, and wrestling sadly is one of them because you know what's going to happen before it happens.
The last time I was legitimately surprised, I think it was the Royal Rumble 2021 when Edge made his return. I was legitimately surprised. I didn't hear shit about him prior to that, like coming back. Not like you did with Randy Orton or CM Punk right now. He was a legitimate surprise.
And that is honestly one of my favorite pops at the Royal Rumble of not just the Royal Rumble, just in wrestling memory that I have. The look of, I don't know what the word is I'm looking for here. He was so happy to be back. He was so, the look of passion and gratitude he had for the fans. He was like, it was all over his face. It was in his eyes. It was like, I've missed you as much as you've missed me. And I'm not talking about a paycheck. I'm talking about a legit entertainer, because that's what they are, sports entertainers, right? Yeah. A legit entertainer has missed the fans, has missed wrestling as much as they missed him. And, we all talked about, wanting to see Edge one more time, and we got our wish. And Edge came back and gave us some classic matches, did some really cool stuff. I'm still kind of bitter about the whole Judgment Day thing. I thought Judgment Day and him was a horrible idea, but it was also partly Edge's idea.
Oh, so, was it?
Yeah, partly. Now, a lot of it was creative, but
yeah. And I was wrong about the year. It was 2020 that he came out.
Okay, so it was the COVID year. But there was a lot of good that came out of it. Randy looks freaking phenomenal, dude.
He looks a lot bigger.
It's that steroid juice, baby. I'm telling you.
Oh, don't you dare!
But regardless, I was extremely happy to see him. And if you go back and you watch Survivor Series when he came out, not only the pop that he got, and if people who, what's a pop? We're gonna cover. I think the next show or show after that, we're gonna cover wrestling lingo, slang. A pop is when a wrestler comes out and the crowd cheers. That's a pop.
They not just cheer, but you can tell
explode.
Yeah.
I mean, the people were losing their minds. And when you saw that happen, it was like, he's back. It's finally happening. And the people were so happy and so welcoming him in. And he came in there, did his thing, and did the vintage Randy Orton and was body slamming people, doing this and doing that. And it was just fun. You see him and Cody Rhodes, in the ring together. And it was funny because Randy actually was there when Cody came into the business.
Oh, yeah, during Legacy.
Yeah. So Jey Uso, I mean, even Randy, there was a moment, if you watch, Jey Uso and Randy Orton had a moment. Sami Zayn welcomed him back, and it was just cool to see and cool to watch that, and I had a lot of fun with it. And he went to SmackDown, which kind of surprised me, but then I take a step back and I go, okay, why did he go to SmackDown? Well, you have Cody Rhodes, you have Shinsuke, you have Seth Rollins, you have Jey Uso, you have Sami Zayn, You have the Judgment Day. Who's at SmackDown right now? You have Logan Paul, which I'm not. Look, as much as I don't like the Paul family, Logan Paul is legit. He has gotten praises from people of McFoley, The Undertaker, Stone Cold. How could you argue with that?
But it makes no sense.
It doesn't make it makes perfect sense because he wants the bloodline. He wants the people that put him out on the rack for over what was it, a year and a half, 2 years.
Okay, I understand that, but him going to SmackDown does absolutely nothing to push the narrative of Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. It really doesn't, because Cody Rhodes still stays at Raw.
All right, let me
So what are you going to be doing? Are you going to be is this indicative of Randy Orton getting a title push, or is everything going to go out the window once Royal Rumble comes around next month? Have Cody Rhodes win that, or maybe something go on the line with Elimination Chamber in February. You know, I would love to see Randy Orton go after Roman Reigns again for the title of WrestleMania, but if they did that, then they're losing any chance they have to do a rematch with Cody Rhodes.
I'm going to throw two nuggets at you. Completely stole this from Bubba Ray Dudley. Okay. That I you know where I get a lot of my material. I don't hide this. It's not like I'm not blatantly ripping them off. It's just I listen to a bunch of guys in the business, so I'm repeating what I've heard from guys that are doing a podcast in the business, watch things as a wrestler, not just as a fan, but as a wrestler. So I'm going to throw two nuggets at you. So number one, totally forgot where I was going with that because I had to do that long John explanation. I had it. I'm telling you, my mind is everywhere. Roman Reigns is really close to breaking Hulk Hogan's record. Okay.
Right. But he's not number one.
Just stick with me here.
Okay.
Come on this ride with me.
Okay.
At SummerSlam next year, if Roman Reigns is still the champion, he will have beaten Hulk Hogan.
Okay.
Think about that. Okay. Now, it doesn't matter if it's Cody Rhodes, if it's CM Punk, if it's RKO, if it's Seth Rollins, if it's Shinsuke Nakamura, whoever. That's how close they are to breaking Hulk Hogan's record, which really makes you question, are they going to stick with Roman that long? Are they going to really stick it out that long? He's already come this far. So what's a few more months? What's 6 more months? 7 more months, whatever it is. I don't remember when SummerSlam is. And you want to?
It's August, so it's 8 months.
Okay, 8. You've gone 3 years. What's another 8 months? SummerSlam will break Hogan's record.
Because I don't think they are 100% behind Roman Reigns yet. Even though they've had him hold the title for this long, they've given him and Paul Heyman basically 100% creative control over the whole bloodline storyline. I mean, that's unprecedented. Nobody else has had like that much say in their own writing. You know what I mean? I don't think that Roman Reigns is the one to take that record from Hogan. But you know what? I've been wrong before because I didn't think that Brock Lesnar should have been the one to end the streak with Undertaker. Well, I think there have been a couple of other people that were more deserving of that.
Right. And they offered it to Edge, and Edge didn't want it.
Right.
You know,
but they're making a big deal about, you know, Hogan's record, but you know, like I said before you was talking about SummerSlam, he's not the number one longest reigning title holder. That's Bruno Sammartino, bro. And he holds the record for at least 3 or 4 years longer than Hogan.
Okay. Well, that's what I'm saying. That's why I said Hogan's record.
So they're basically letting Roman hold the title to take the number 3 spot? Like, what's their motive? What's their incentive here? That's what I don't understand. What their end game is. They're not going to have him be champion for fucking 7-8 years.
Well, and here's another little nugget you can throw out there. And again, this is all speculation. I'm not saying this is the end all be all. I'm just trying to put ideas in your head. Okay, I'm playing devil's advocate, if you will. I'm taking a page out of Paul Heyman's book. So another little nugget is, what has Cody Rhodes been on since last WrestleMania? Finish the story, right? That's been his title. Finish the story. Okay, you have Cody Rhodes, you have Randy Orton. I call him RKO. Call him whatever you want. So if I say RKO, you know who I'm talking about.
Legend killer.
You have Cody Rhodes, you have RKO, you have the Bloodline. Why not have one of two things happen? Number one, you could have RKO face Roman Reigns at WrestleMania and take the title from him. And then that sets up Cody and RKO, because then you have two second-generation wrestlers wrestling each other in an end-all, be-all battle. You have Randy Orton came in one of the youngest champions in the company's history, and then you have Cody Rhodes, the prodigal son of Dusty Rhodes. I mean, how more of a beautiful picture do you have? Or you have Cody sets you narrate through all this mess that they have now with Cody and RKO and CM Punk and Seth Rollins and the Bloodline. You narrate through all that, and you set up Jey Uso. Let's bring him into the mix. If you watched last Friday night,
he got level. Well, oh no, never mind. That was last night. My bad.
Jey Uso and Randy Orton had a moment, and he said, "I'm going after the Bloodline. You're not with the Bloodline. You're fine. You're safe. I respect you."
Right.
What if Jey Uso joins the Bloodline at WrestleMania? RKO comes out. RKO's the Uso brothers, Sikoa, and RKO saves Cody Rhodes, and Cody Rhodes is able to get the championship at WrestleMania. Again, not saying any of this is going to happen. This is just maybe not. I don't know. But there's a million different possibilities you can go with this. And I'm sure WWE creative and the wrestlers have thought this through a gazillion times over, and they're having fun with it. They're playing with it right now. Yeah. Now, do I like RKO going to SmackDown? No, because I'm a Raw guy. I love Raw. I've always liked Raw. But I get why they did it, because they need that high-level personnel up at SmackDown. Sorry,
Undertaker couldn't bring the views to SmackDown to
The Rock did.
Raw.
The Rock did.
In my opinion, Rock is not better than Undertaker, though. That's the thing, though.
Rock did, though. That's what I'm saying. The Rock was able to. Undertaker, I don't think, got the views where they wanted them, but he definitely established their name a little more.
Hell, didn't Lesnar go to SmackDown at some point?
Yeah.
Like, even he wasn't the biggest draw in SmackDown. Raw was still always number one.
Ooh.
You know, I look at it this way. I like, what is that, Horny Toad?
Ooh.
Yep, Horny Toad, ladies and gentlemen.
Is this 12 ounces?
Yep.
It is. That's not 12 ounces. This can looks like I'm the Big Show.
I like your idea of
that's 12
Cody
ounces.
Rhodes and RKO. Only problem with that is they are not going to have they're not going to have Roman Reigns drop the title before WrestleMania. They're not going to have him drop the title on any pay-per-view that is not a WrestleMania. So that means to have a Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton, a second generation, title match between those two, you're going to have to wait a whole other year. I don't see them doing that. I don't see them dragging Cody Rhodes for another year to quote unquote finish the story. Because now you have Shinsuke Nakamura fucking vowing to end the story or finish the story. Like, how many feuds are you going to put Cody Rhodes through that are pointless before you fucking get to your end result?
Right. And look, I'm starting.
It's like they don't know what to do with him.
They don't. And this goes back, I sent you a text the other day, and I think I actually ended up having to send the picture like an hour later because I forgot to send the picture. But I want you to really understand something, okay? Not only have these people been beaten by Roman Reigns, these are people that are still in wrestling right now. And this is wrestling. This is WWE's roster as of right now. Understand that, okay? You have Rey Mysterio. You can throw John Cena in there if you really want to. I know he's on his way out, but he's still there regardless.
Okay.
Randy Orton. You have Sheamus is still in there somewhere. Shinsuke Nakamura, Seth Rollins, and Drew McIntyre. Brock Lesnar's still around. At some point, Brock Lesnar will be back. I see a Brock Lesnar Randy Orton feud possibly. I don't see Brock Lesnar and CM Punk. I just don't see it. That match makes no sense to me whatsoever.
I don't see Randy Orton Brock Lesnar feud just because they already got done with one not too long ago.
But
remember, that was the whole thing of Lesnar busting open Randy Orton on SummerSlam with the elbows, and Orton was like all fucked up in his face. That led to the whole back and forth with Lesnar and Jericho. Okay. So they've already had their feud. It really wasn't all that cracked up to be.
Okay, fair enough. But my point is there is a slew of talent in WWE right now. And I think a lot of the problem that we're seeing with Nakamura and Cody Rhodes is they have so much talent, they want to do something with them. They just don't know what yet. And I think they're just kind of, I really do. I think they're figuring that out as they go. Are we going to like every storyline? No. Are we going to pick apart every storyline? Probably, because that's what wrestling fans do. There are things, I'm going to spoiler alert. If you didn't watch Monday Night Raw, you asked me how it was last night, and I thought it was a snooze fest. I'm not a wrestler of any kind. Nothing gravitated toward me. Nothing really stuck out to me.
I thought the Rollins match was pretty decent.
Except, and I was just fixing to get to that, the Rollins match was good. The Rollins match was great. But, Bubba Ray Dudley, I'm stealing this from you too, buddy. The ending, if you go back and you watch the ending of that match, you had the crowd, you had me, you had everybody fooled with all the false finishes, and a false finish is 1, 2, kick out. That's a false finish. You pull the crowd in, you pull them in, and you pull them in. There's a moment. Jey Uso sets up a super kick, kicks Rollins square in the jaw, had him dead to rights. Rollins pops up, bounces off, spear. Nobody just stands up from a super kick. That made no sense to me. That almost, and I strongly emphasize, almost killed the match for me. Almost.
Yeah.
But it was still fun to watch. And then I think they normally go over. They didn't go over last night. And when I say over, they're normally like, 10:05, 10:10. They didn't do that last night. At 11 o'clock or 10 o'clock, they were off the air.
I was fully expecting them to set up another Money in the Bank cash-in attempt. When Drew McIntyre started screwing up both of them, I fully expected maybe Judgment Day to come back out to, quote-unquote, help Drew McIntyre. Since they aligned themselves in Survivor Series, I kind of have expected them to come out and make some kind of attack after Drew McIntyre laid out Seth Rollins.
No, and I'll tell you why. And the reason is because you had Rhea Ripley wasn't there and Finn Balor wasn't there. So there was no reason for him to cash it in because he had no backup, essentially. He really didn't. He had no backup.
Well, yeah, true. Well, he didn't need backup. He had Drew McIntyre right there.
Yeah, but he's not. Him and Drew McIntyre are not buddy.
True.
Fun fact: if you're paying attention, there's rumors going around that the R-Truth might join Judgment Day, and I'm torn on that.
Oh, that would be kind of interesting.
For comic relief, I'm totally fine with it.
That'd be a little interesting, man. I wouldn't mind seeing how that was.
But all right. Well, we are officially 35 minutes into the show. Do you have anything else you want to talk about, vent about, get off your chest, complain, moan, and groan about?
No.
All right. So let's get down to brass tacks. First of all, RIP, your least favorite beer, Brutal Beerworks.
Real.
I love the beer. I really do. It's a great Pilsner, and I'm not a big Pilsner guy, but that beer was really good.
I don't think I've had it.
I thought you said you got one.
When?
You told me like a week ago you had one.
No.
Oh, my God. I wish I would have done that. I wouldn't have drank it. I would have given it to you. Oh, you jackass.
I haven't got anything. Like, in all honesty, I haven't. I feel like shit. I haven't been in the chat for like ages too. But yeah, I haven't swung in. I haven't been able to like really get in the Wednesday chats for Strikeout beer.
Strikeout beer, 7 p.m. Is it 7 or 7:30? I always forget.
7
p.m. Central Standard Time,
yep.
Wednesday nights. Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, wherever you watch your podcast.
And nothing against Brutal. I always go to Denton County. I mean, that's my place.
Right. And I dude, I'm right there with you. Dude, I gotta say, this is actually really good beer.
It is, man.
Like I like blondes in more than one way. But I like blondes, but this is really a good beer. I didn't think I was gonna like it as much as I do, but I'm enjoying it.
I'm going to send you a photo.
Ooh, please do and tell.
Where is my messages? What the hell? All right, messages, whiskey. All right, this photo was taken at about 8 o'clock in the morning. And it looked like that all day. That's where I was during Thanksgiving break.
Oh, you lucky dog.
And that's the scenery I had drinking Horny Toad. Right there on the river. Fucking awesome, man.
Well, if there's anything anybody should know about me right now, and I know this is not beer related, not podcast related, but I love the beach and I love rivers. I love a good river. I love a good beach. So awesome.
So it's not really coming in clear, but
that is amazing, dude.
Dude, it was amazing.
I love a good.
I mean, Broken Bow is really, really cool, man.
I hate that place so much. I hate that place. So, I'm gonna go ahead and rate this one. You said 1 to 5, right?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so
1 to 5.
As we all know, there's only one beer I've ever rated a 5 on the show, and it was a long time coming. I'm gonna put this as a 5. I have to. It's the last one I'll ever have. I'll never have it again. It's from our buddies over at Strikeout Beer. It's from Brutal, RIP. So I in respect, as a send off, I have to give this a 5. I don't have a choice. I have to.
You have to.
So, and I tell you what, this one might also be a 5 as well because
It's really, really good, dude.
It's smooth, so smooth. So let's get into this because I know that you're livid. We've all had time and we were all sick and tired of talking about it. Even Sam's like, "Oh my God, could you talk about CM Punk anymore?" Jesus. I've had people come up to me that aren't even wrestling fans that I work with, like, "Dude, did you know CM Punk came back?" I'm like, "Yeah, I saw." I know my thoughts on it. I won't ruin it for you. The floor is yours, my guy. Let's go. Whoops.
That's how much I'm pissed off, bro. Fuck this shit.
Your camera said nope.
Nope. All right, so I'll preface it with this. I have nothing against CM Punk. I really don't.
Yes, he does.
No. CM Punk is, for me, the equivalent of, say, like Roman Reigns.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll say it like this. With Roman Reigns, he is a really, really good, convincing heel.
Okay.
So much so that I can't stand him as a wrestler. He's that good of a heel that you tend to forget he's just a regular dude. You know? So for CM Punk, I have a hard time separating, is this the dude or is this the wrestler? And the fact that he's a baby face makes it that much more confusing because I don't know what it is. I just don't like the wrestler. Does that make sense?
No, it makes perfect sense, and I totally get what you're saying.
So if it had been maybe in the very beginning of the pay-per-view, I would have been fine. If it was, say, like the Friday night SmackDown show, like the night before the pay-per-view, I would have been fine with it. But he steals Randy Orton's moment.
Sorry.
You know what I mean?
Go ahead. I'm listening.
What are you doing?
I'm getting an argument in my head. Just please continue.
Oh my God. All right.
Huh? No.
But I mean, I never really got into him when he was in the business before. I don't think I'll really get into him now. I don't know why. Nothing against him 100%. Nothing against him. There's other people that I could live without, but I don't understand how he gets this big of a pop when this is also the return of Randy Orton too. Separate them. Have him come out in the beginning of the pay-per-view. Set it up. Set up what he's there to do. Have him call somebody out or whatever. You know what I mean? Open the show like that. That's my 2 cents.
Okay. Is it out of your system now?
Maybe. Yeah, I guess.
Okay. All right. So, and again, it's been 10 days. I know everybody's tired of talking about it, tired of hearing about it, but we're behind. I'm sorry, but life happens. Shit happens. Get over it. Get over yourself. Look, I have been one of CM Punk's biggest critics since day one, since the pipe bomb. Okay. I absolutely could not stand CM Punk after the pipe bomb. To me, he was always one of those bitter wrestlers like Bret Hart, like the Ultimate Warrior, that just never got over himself. But again, and yes, I'm totally stealing this from Bubba Ray. I don't care. Call me out all you want. We all know where I get my stuff from. And wrestling, 2 things are certain. Number one, as cliche as it is, never say never in this business. We know that. Never say never. You don't believe me? After the Montreal screw job happened, what was it, 20-something years ago, 20-something years later, Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart stood in the middle of a ring in Montreal and hugged it out. Vince McMahon and Bret Hart shook hands on national TV. Time heals all wounds in this business.
Yeah.
Now, that being said, I, for one, never thought I would see CM Punk in another WWE ring. If you would have told me that 3 weeks ago, I would have called you crazy because I didn't think it was going to happen. I really didn't. CM Punk has gotten the backing of some of wrestling's best. And I'm not just talking about WWE. I'm talking about wrestlers in general. That he's fun to work with. He's respectful. He's nice. I don't know. I've heard so many good and bad things about CM Punk now. I don't know what's true, what's not true. All I can do is go off of what I heard, what I've read, and what I know. Or what I think I know. Let me phrase that. Now, first to your point. Do I think CM Punk coming out at the end of the match on Survivor Series was the right thing to do? Do I think it? No. However, Randy Orton knows the business better than just about anybody. And I dare say Randy Orton is this generation's Shawn Michaels in the sense of he doesn't have to try in that ring. He is flawless. He is one of the best workers in this business. Randy probably knew CM Punk was coming back and said, you know what, man? I know this is supposed to be my night, but I want you to have it. I know this is Chicago. I know that the fans want you. I know that people love you. Take it. When the match is over, hit your music. That could have very well been a Randy Orton moment. But he gave it to CM Punk, just like The Undertaker gave Brock Lesnar the streak. Or did Brock Lesnar say mid-match, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to take it. We'll never know. And again, that's me being a Paul Heyman right now because I'm just going to fuck with your head. But my point is, like him, hate him, love him, leave it. Time heals all wounds in this business. I honestly never thought I would see CM Punk back in this freaking ring, and by God, it happened. And honestly, as much as I didn't want to see it happen, I popped when it happened. I was like, oh my God. I came out of my chair. Like, I caught myself being excited. Somebody who has been his biggest critic since the pipe bomb. I popped. I cheered. I was ecstatic for it. And I don't know why. I'm not a CM Punk fan. But it was just that raw emotion, that raw, like, oh my God moment. Just like when you're watching a Royal Rumble match and you see Doink the Clown pop out from behind the curtain, you know, and his music hits, or you hear the Godfather's music hits, you're just like, it wasn't so much that you're happy to see him as, holy crap, I can't believe this is happening.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what it was. And again, time heals all wounds in this business. Now, as far as me being a CM Punk fan, I'm optimistic. You know, and Triple H said it best, and CM Punk said it best in his promo the following night. Time changes people. It's been over, 10 years now since he left? You know, and hopefully he's changed. Hopefully Triple H has changed. Now, I want to run this by you because this has been in the back of my head since the beginning of the show, and I've been waiting for this moment to drive it home. CM Punk, Bret Hart, Ultimate Warrior. Does anybody have any idea what all three of those names have in common?
Left on bad terms, came back.
And do you know who was behind all three of them coming back? Triple H.
Really?
Yes. He reached out to the Ultimate Warrior. He reached out to Bret Hart. He reached out to CM Punk. What does that tell you about Triple H? Time heals all wounds.
Yeah.
You know, and
I'm not saying anything against Punk coming back. I'm really not. I get it. I just wish the timing was different.
Well, and that's the thing. It's like, okay, so when do we bring him back? Do we bring him back at Mania? Do we bring him back at the Royal Rumble? Do we bring him back?
No,
here?
bring him back. Have CM Punk be the mystery partner of Cody Rhodes. And then at the end, after everyone's pop for CM Punk, as the show's going off, here's Randy Orton. They both get it. CM Punk, I mean, it's not going to be the Randy Orton coming out at the end of the pay-per-view after Punk joins the rest of the team is not overshadowing that pop. It's not stealing that thunder. Orton coming back in the tail end of the fucking match for like 3-4 minutes. Not even that, 3 minutes. They win the match, and then Punk comes out to possibly a greater pop. I mean, I just didn't like that.
And again, I think part of that was Randy giving it to Punk. And this business is, I say this business, I'm talking about wrestling, obviously. And again, I'm not a wrestler. I don't claim to be some know it all. I just know what I've read, what I've been told, what I've read, and what I've listened to. And I've talked to quite a few wrestlers, and I even went to wrestling school right out of college. And no, again, I don't think I'm some expert because I'm not. I'm far from it. Just the little bit of know-how that I have, you have to be somewhat selfish in that business, and you have to be somewhat giving in that business. It's a matter of when to know when to do what. And I think Randy Orton knew that CM Punk's return was bigger than him. For the fans, it's Chicago, it's Punk's hometown. Can you imagine CM Punk coming back at Survivor Series as the fourth member and Randy Orton being the last thing they see? That pop wouldn't have been the same. It wouldn't. It would not have been the same. There's no way. And here's another little fact. Punk's not a team player in the sense of he doesn't have like a lot of tag titles. He doesn't have a lot of, Survivor Series moments as far as with another team. He's kind of like that Maverick-esque, lived by his own rules. So it would make more sense for Randy because Randy was in Evolution. Randy was in Legacies. It makes more sense for him. And I think that's kind of why they did it that way, because Punk's that more of a lone wolf type of guy.
Yeah. I don't know. You know what? I'll phrase it this way. I wouldn't have had a problem with it if Randy Orton wasn't around for just 3 minutes. It was like everyone was still on the high of him coming out.
Oh, I get you. And
if he would have came out during all the openings, got his pop, he's there, he's doing his Viper shit inside the cage, that would have been awesome.
Right.
It wouldn't have been able to. I mean, they could have reworked that Money in the Bank cash-in attempt, but have him be out there longer for 3 minutes, then I would have been okay with it. But the fact that it was such a small window, that's why I'm like, that's what I had a problem with.
Okay, fair enough. And look, I'm not saying your argument's not valid. I'm not saying that you being upset is not valid. Everybody has their reasons. I'm pissed at WWE still for not giving John Cena one more win. And I know a lot of people are going to make fun of me for that, but I think I don't give a shit.
Well, he's not officially out yet, is he?
He's not. But that's what I'm saying. You bring him back for a little bit. You have him put over Sikoa. I think, in my heart of hearts, and this is not being funny or having a shtick. Sorry, beer burps. Pardon me. I think he deserves to have one more win. Now, again, the question is who? Well, shit, you've got a loaded roster. Some people will even argue that this roster is as good as the Attitude Eras. And I have a hard time arguing that point because you look at it, man, it is stacked. You still have AJ Lee. Wow. You still have AJ Styles out there somewhere. I know he's kind of winding down his career a little bit, but he's still out there regardless.
No.
You have AJ Styles. You have John Cena. The Rock has been popped up. CM Punk, Roman Reigns, Jey Uso's made a name for himself. Kevin Owens is hurt right now, but he's still there. Sami Zayn, who stepped up in a huge way. Chad Gable, Gunther. I mean, good Lord, their roster right now, are you kidding me? It's packed. The women's division, you've got Becky Lynch. You've got Charlotte Flair. You've got Rhea Ripley. And hopefully she'll turn babyface soon. You've got one of my favorites, Bayley. And I'm gonna say this right now. And if you want to come at me in the comments, fine, come at me. The women's Survivor Series match was just as good as the men's.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, holy hell. That was an amazing match. And I couldn't believe I liked it.
I actually preferred last year's War Games over this year's, but both were still good. Yeah.
I mean, the women's division put on a hell of a show.
Yeah.
I forget who it was. I'm not great with the names of the women's division, and I'm sorry. But one of them put herself in a trash can and jumped off the top of the cage. I mean, you don't see that. And I know people are going to come at me with the whole AEW thing. Look, I have nothing against AEW. I don't watch the product, so I can't speak about AEW. But what I can speak about is Monday Night Raw. What I can speak about is Friday Night SmackDown, WWE products I watch. I don't really watch NXT. It's not my thing. I've tried. I just can't get into it. I'm sorry. But whoever the girl was that put the trash can on her body and then jumped off and landed on top of everybody, you don't see that in the women's division on WWE.
I think it was Io Sky.
Maybe it was Io Sky. Okay. You don't see that WWE women's division. You saw it at Survivor Series. They were pulling out all the stops, and it was absolutely amazing. The story that they are telling right now with Bayley is amazing. Well, what are you talking about? Do you realize that Bayley had like 4 finishers done on her, and she was still popping up trying to save her team from getting defeated at Survivor Series? Yeah. And then she comes out Monday Night Raw after being shunned by her entire team from Survivor Series to try to save the match, and ends up costing them the match. They are setting Bayley up to be one of the biggest baby faces since Becky Lynch, since Trish Stratus.
I've always liked Bayley.
I am a huge Bayley fan. I was a big fan of her when she used to come out and give hugs to all the kids and stuff, and she would free hugs. I thought that was amazing. And then when she turned heel, like, I hated her. I was like, I'm never liking Bayley again. And then I started paying attention to her story again. I'm like, they're going to turn her babyface again. And I'm here for it. I want it. I don't like heel Bayley. Heel Bayley to me, I know she wanted to be a heel and it's fun for her. And I get that as an entertainer, but I'm like, some wrestlers just to me make a better babyface.
Yeah. During Survivor Series, Jen was like, oh, there's your girl. Do you want a hug? I'm like, hell yeah. Give me a hug, Bayley. I want a hug.
And see, like Drew McIntyre. Absolutely love Drew McIntyre. One of my favorites to watch. He's another roster name that you can throw out there. I don't like him as a babyface. I want Drew McIntyre as a heel. I want to hate Drew McIntyre because he's good at it. He's great at it. Don't give me Drew. It was fun to see him and Matt Riddle together, but I want to see heel McIntyre.
Yeah.
You know, that ruthless, just
like
in your face. Yeah, exactly. You know, and again, Sheamus is still out there. I'm waiting for Sheamus to come back. We haven't seen Sheamus since the Edge retirement match.
Yeah.
So, man, that's a good beer. Holy hell.
Road trip.
That is a good beer.
2.5 hours, man.
Whew. So, there you have it. We've talked R-Truth. We've talked Randy Orton. We've talked CM Punk. I, for one, I'm happy to see CM Punk back just because I'm anxious to see what they're going to do with him. I think, and I'm going to say this right now, I think Seth Rollins, there's a lot of videos of him floating around with CM Punk, flipping him off when he came out at Survivor Series. If that is a work, meaning if that's fake, it is one of the best works I have seen in a long time. They had legit beef on Twitter for a while.
Yeah. I don't think his thing with CM Punk, I think it's real. But like you told me before, Rollins is smart enough to know, hey, this can make us money.
Right.
Same thing with his feud and with Logan Paul. He didn't like the dude. But then again, Rollins is also one of those where he takes that kayfabe into his interviews a lot of the times too. So you can't really tell. You know what I mean?
Yep, I'm listening.
No, I got you. So how much of it does he really not like Logan Paul? Or how much of it does he really not like CM Punk? I mean, calling him a cancer in the locker room, but he was in Seth freaking Rollins mode promoting the wrestling video game. He's not going to talk, as he really feels. Does that make sense?
No, I got you. I totally got you. And here's my thing with it. We've all had jobs where we absolutely just despise one person. Sorry. You've had that one guy at your job, whether he was really bad for morale, it was an old boss that you didn't like, or just somebody who was just off and weird. We've all had that one person, guy or gal, that we just did not like to work with.
Right.
We've all had it. Maybe it's been at more than one job. Maybe it's been at the same job for the last 20 years. But Seth Rollins may not like CM Punk coming back, but I promise you this. Seth Rollins will do what he thinks is right for business.
Yeah.
And he may make it very, he may voice his opinion. Hey, I don't like this guy. I think he's bad for us. But I guarantee you, if Triple H told him, hey, you're going to feud with CM Punk, Seth would do it. Would he do it reluctantly? Probably. But that's what makes it good. Wrestling has to be real. I will say this till the day I die, and I totally stealing this from Tommy Dreamer and Bubba Ray Dudley. Wrestling has to be real for it to make sense. Go back and watch John Cena and The Rock. There were moments they really took shots at one another. Those weren't scripted. They legit were taking shots at one another. But it was real, and it resonated with the crowd. And the crowd was like, ooh, shit, he said that. And I guarantee you, Seth Rollins, CM Punk, dude, that is money, baby.
Oh, yeah.
I for one, I want to see that, because you're going to have Seth freaking Rollins chance on one side, CM Punk chance on the other side. It's two baby faces going at it, going to town on one another. And that's the thing. Again, this is just me, my opinion. I don't think you need to have a heel baby face for this match. I think some matches you can have two baby faces just tearing each other apart limb from limb. Yeah. And it's money. You don't believe me? Okay. Well, we learned from history, right? The Rock, Stone Cold. Undertaker, Kane. Undertaker, Batista. Just to name a couple. The Ultimate Warrior, Hulk Hogan, both baby faces. Hulk Hogan, Macho Man Randy Savage. I could do this all day.
Well, no, the one with Randy Savage was a heel at that time.
Okay. I apologize. But my point is you have two wrestlers that are over with the crowd. The crowd loves. And I don't think you need a bad guy and a good guy, a heel and a babyface for this. You don't need that right now. You have two guys, and I legitimately believe in my heart of hearts that if it came down to it, Seth Rollins would work with CM Punk. Now, what happens after that? I don't know. Does Seth decide, you know what? I don't want to give him the title. That's a problem. And then you can start looking, well, is Seth a cancer in the locker room because he won't give in to what they promised CM Punk? And that's not me being an asshole. I'm simply saying it's things to look out for in the future. It's things to keep your eye on. I love Seth Rollins. Always have, always will. Okay. I couldn't stand him as a heel. It was like, oh my gosh, this guy's annoying. But I love watching him work.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Paul Heyman. His character is a douchebag. Straight up. He's a snake. We all know that. But we love Paul Heyman. He's one of the greatest minds in this business. And if he doesn't go into the Hall of Fame soon, I'm going to lose my shit. I'm being serious. I love Paul Heyman. But when you see Paul Heyman walk out, my name is, I'm like, oh my God, this guy again. But I love it. That's the fan in me. I love it. I can't help it. Yeah. And that's the same thing with Seth, CM Punk. I'm optimistic about Punk. I don't really like that he's back, but I don't hate that he's back either. I'm like, all right, well, let's see give it a year. Let's see where he's at in a year from now. And let's see where he's at 6 months from now, and I'll have a decision. Right now, it's a coin flip. It really is. It's a coin flip. So, I got nothing else, man. Do you have anything?
No, I've done enough ranting for today.
Enough ranting for today? Okay. All right. Fair enough. Man, this has honestly been, and I know I say this like every other show, but tonight was a lot of fun.
Hell
And
yeah.
you know how scatterbrained I am, and I have been like nipping at the heels just to get back on the air, just so we could talk CM Punk, just so we could talk R-Truth, just so we could talk RKO. I'm really anxious to see what WWE does with all this talent, because I truly, honestly feel like they have so much talent at their disposal. It's stupid.
Yeah.
The women's division is finally starting to come together. The men's division is, you could throw something up in the air and hit a target. I mean, it's ridiculous. And I know at the end of the day, people are divided on CM Punk coming back to WWE. You like it, you hate it, yada, yada, yada. I'm optimistic. I'm in that 1%. I'm like, I don't like the idea. I don't hate the idea. Let's see what happens in 6 months to a year from now, and then let's have an opinion.
Yeah.
You know, that's where I am. And here's why I say that. And I said this earlier. The Undertaker loved working with Punk. Mick Foley loved talking to Punk in the back. Stone Cold Steve Austin loved Punk. That's just to name a couple. Mark Henry. These are all Hall of Famers. People that have had a successful stint in WWE for years upon years upon years.
But you also have to look at the flip side. Triple H hated working with him.
And called him and said, hey, come back. Now, the one thing we didn't get into, and we don't have to spend a lot of time on this, but Monday Night Raw, Punk came out and did a promo toward the end. And again, completely ripping off Busted Open Podcast. I'll give credit where credit is due. And I didn't even think about it until Bully Ray said something. Okay. So get that out of the way right now, because somebody at some point is going to come at me with this. I thought the promo was extremely, and I'm going to use this word, Bully Ray, Mick Foley, I'm looking at you, safe. Punk came out and said, hell finally froze over. I'm home. He was talking about being welcomed in with open arms. People were kissing him on the mouth, kissing him on the cheeks, giving him a hug, yada, yada, yada. But at the end of that promo, and I caught this because thanks to Bully Ray's education, I'm starting to pay attention to these little tiny, minute details. At the very end of that promo, right before the camera shuts off, I'm not here to make friends. I'm here to make money.
Oh, yeah.
How much of that was CM Punk, the wrestler, and how much was that CM Punk, the person? Because I felt like it was a double standard. You just got through talking about how most everybody welcomed you back with open arms, and then says, I'm not here to make friends. I'm here to make money. What are you doing, dude?
It's probably establishing something real soon with Seth Rollins. We already know that's coming.
Yeah. But regardless, I liked the promo. I thought it was good. I thought it was very CM Punkish. I don't know what else to call it, but I enjoyed it. Like I said, I'm very, and I keep overusing this word, I'm very optimistic. I really am. I want good things for Punk. I'm just nervous.
Yeah.
Do I want to see Punk get a title run? Actually, yes, I do. I think two things need to happen. I think Seth Rollins needs to have that match. Win, lose, or draw, I don't care. But Seth Rollins needs to have that one match that really solidifies who Seth freaking Rollins is. Now, some people argue he's already had that match. The match last night with Jey Uso, one of the best I've seen on Raw in a long time. It was a 25-minute long match. It was amazing. You had everything. You had false finishes. You had the ups, the downs. Yeah, the ending was kind of a botchy ending, in my opinion. Again, that's just me. But it was still a good match. The crowd was into it. The crowd was digging it. I just really want Seth to have that one really good match that solidifies him. Well, what do you mean by that, Whiskey? I'll tell you what I mean. when Sami Zayn was fighting the Bloodline, when he turned on the Bloodline, him and Roman Reigns, and I will use this for the next 10 years because this match to me sticks out from the last 20 years of wrestling that I've watched. They didn't have a lot of big bumps. They didn't have a lot of big crazy moves or maneuvers. The first 5 minutes of that match, I think it was in Saudi Arabia. I don't remember where it was. They were overseas. Sami Zayn and Roman Reigns stood in the match in the ring for 5 minutes, and it was just the crowd cheering.
Dude, that was Elimination Chamber in Canada.
Okay, Elimination Chamber in Canada. I'm sorry. That to me right there, I don't need a bunch of crazy bumps. They're fun to watch. Don't get me wrong. I love seeing it. But I'm about storytelling. When you can sit in a ring and you can stare at the guy across from you and the crowd is just cheering and popping and booing and CM Punk, Seth Rollins, when they're doing that kind of stuff, oh, dude, I love it. Give me that over Mankind falling off of Hell in a Cell every day of the week. I'll take it. And not just for the wrestler's sake, just for the storyline and for the storytelling, the story that's being told.
Yeah.
Again, this is me talking, okay? This is not your average fan. I'm just talking about me. I love seeing a story like that being told. And there's no moves. There's no crazy bumps. There's no headlocks. I'm standing over here and I'm going to look you dead in the eye. And I've got these people all here cheering for me. And I'm fighting you. That is amazing. That is storyline. That is storytelling at its finest, and I love it, and I'm here for it. And I think Seth Rollins really needs that to solidify who Seth freaking Rollins is. And then, of course, you're going to have CM Punk. And I said this earlier, babyface versus babyface, I'm for Seth freaking Rollins, CM Punk. Seth freaking Rollins, CM Punk. Dude, give me that. I'd love
maybe
it.
Royal Rumble.
We'll see. But, man, I've said this like 6 times. I've got nothing else. I could talk all night about this stuff. I'm amped. I'm anxious. My blood pressure is probably through the roof right now, but we won't talk about that. I really am, dude. I'm anxious to see what happens in the next few weeks. I know Royal Rumble's in January, which I cannot wait for. Maybe next show, if we have one before the Royal Rumble, we'll talk about possible returns because I don't know if you caught this. I've been posting a lot lately on the Facebook page. We got to figure out how to get more people over there. So head over to Unpadded on Facebook. Ken Shamrock just signed a Legends contract with WWE. So
I can maybe see him coming out as one of the special ones in Royal Rumble then.
And look, I don't care if it's Santino Marella. I don't care if it's Ken Shamrock, if it's Steve Blackman. Hell, if it's Al Snow. Fun little fact. You're welcome, America. I warned you about this about 4 shows ago. Undertaker thinks that when Goldust is done in AEW, he deserves a spot in the Hall of Fame. And I 100% endorse this.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm anxious for the Royal Rumble because it's that moment of nostalgia when that music hits. And I don't care if they come out for 30 seconds, if they come out for 30 minutes. I want to see those wrestlers of the past come out, hear that music, hear that nostalgia, hear the pop of the crowd. I'm going to tell you something about me, okay? This is not Whiskey the person. This is TJ talking. One of my all-time favorite sounds in the entire universe. I don't care if I'm at a concert with 20 people or if I'm at a crowd filled with 1 million people watching a Royal Rumble. I love the cheer of a crowd. That is one of my favorite sounds in this world. And when I watch the Royal Rumble, I can literally close my eyes, turn up the volume on my TV, close my eyes, and just listen to the crowd pop. I love that sound. The Royal Rumble is truly one of my favorite things to watch, just because you never know who's going to show up.
That's my favorite pay-per-view by far. That's always been my favorite one.
So lots to talk about in the coming weeks. I'm going to start watching SmackDown just because Randy Orton's on there now. And I kudos to WWE. They knew they had to do something to get that brand back up and going a little bit. I mean, obviously you've got Roman Reigns, you've got the Bloodline. You needed somebody who better than RKO. So kudos to them for that. I actually like the idea. We'll see what happens with Cody and Shinsuke. there's a few more out there that you can kind of keep your eye on. I feel like WWE's kind of dropping the ball a little bit with Chad Gable, but I'm not going to get into that rant tonight because I just don't have it in me. But you know, there's a lot can happen between now and the Royal Rumble. So, you got anything else?
No, sir.
All right, no crappy porno music tonight. We're just going to sign off.
Boo.
This has been great. This has been fun. It's good to see everybody. My mouse is not working. There it goes. All right. Until next time, I'm Whiskey.
I'm Brews.
Peace.